Hello friends and welcome to my channel. In today's video we have a story about a woman who kicked OP service dog to prove her right and poor doggo ended up in a vet clinic. Subscribe if you haven't and I hope you'll enjoy these stories. So this happened like 9 or 10 years ago when I was 7 or 8 years old. I was a scout back then and a part of a group which was, for the most part, filled with friends and people I knew. I was popular because back then I was social and easygoing. I was friends with everyone and everyone was friends with me and everyone else. But, as always, there's one exception to this. In all honesty, EK was a goddamn idiot. He would yell, he would fight, he would make others cry. He did what he wanted. Back then I thought he was special ed, and that's why I tried to be friends with him, but nope, later in life, when we went to the same high school I learned that he was just dumb. Like I said, that kid was an idiot and would always be trying to get into fights with everyone. People were sick of it and in time, so was I. I don't remember clearly what the idiot did to deserve a shouting from me, he was probably harassing girls or hitting boys, but I flipped on him. Now, at this time, he didn't take out his knife or begin to cry, instead, he just stopped shouting and stopped whatever the hell he was doing. For the rest of the day he would just sit at the back of our cabin and just stare at me, menacingly. So, let's skip a week ahead in time. It was the next scout session, don't know what else to call it, and things were going well. We were doing something time-consuming, so everyone's attention was at the thing they were doing, whatever that was. EK, of course, wasn't doing anything, and instead he decided it was better to run around the cabin. Scoutmaster and leader tried her best to stop the madness, but that only fueled EK's rampage. While on his rampage, it didn't take long for him to find the door to the log cabin that was next to the main cabin, and when he did, well, crap hit the fan, hard. I was sitting next to the cabin and I could hear everything he did and said there clearly. EK. Oh my. He started whispering from the log cabin. EK. Hey Joel, me, come here for a sec. At first I thought, what the hell is he doing now? But I soon became curious. He wouldn't stop whispering, and I kind of wanted to know what the bugger had found. So, like stupid goddamn kid I was, I went there. Me. Yeah. What is it? EK. I got something to show you. After a bit of searching, I found him at the back of the cabin. Now, at this time, I thought he was going to apologize for being an idiot to everyone, and I was quite ecstatic. I knew this would be a story I would milk the crap out of, something to brag to my friends. I was so intimidating that he apologized to me. Well, I got a story out of it, but not the one I was hoping. Me. What's you got there, buddy? His back was turned against me and I didn't see what he was hiding or doing. After I asked him what he was doing, he turned around. EK. You see this, Joel? I couldn't see what he had in his hand, but I saw his twisted grin. Me. I can't see it, could you bring it closer? EK. Sure. And now I saw it, a dull, red-handled knife. EK. Do you see it now, Joel? Now, at this point I said something along the lines of oh crap or what the hell and booked it out of there, with the idiot laughing behind me. I ran out of the log cabin into the main cabin and tripped. This diverted the leader's attention, who now noticed that EK was gone and that I was on the cabin floor, panicking. Leader, L. What's wrong, Joel? Where's EK? Me. It's EK, that idiot's got a knife. L. What? Me. He's trying to hurt me. It took a moment for the leader to realize what was happening, but when she did, she ran into the log cabin, fuming. My friends came closer and asked me what had happened, but before I could answer them, I heard the leader scream at EK. L. What makes you think it's okay to threaten someone like that? EK. I wasn't, I was just showing it. L. Well, what makes you think you have any right to hold one without a supervisor? You could have not only hurt yourself, you could have hurt Joel. EK. I swear, L. Get out of here. Go outside and wait for your mom to come pick you up. She then came back into the main cabin and told one of the other leaders to look after us. She then went outside with EK and waited for the mother to come pick the little devil up. Now, according to what I had heard the leader tell the others after this incident, the mother was furious. A complete and utter EM who tried to tell the leader that I was probably the aggressor and that I was a goddamn son of an idiot. At the time I laughed at this with my friends, but had I known she would come for me the next week, I wouldn't have been laughing. Now, a week after the incident, me and my friends were on top of the bridge you can see in front of the building. We were messing around, doing dumb stuff, playing tag, stuff like that when suddenly, EM shows up. The conversation goes something like this. EM. Which one of you is Joel? Me. Here, ma'am. EM. You. You're the one who bullied my darling. Me. What? I then noticed EK on the backseat, bawling his eyes out. Me. Oh, you're EK's mom, yeah, he tried to hurt me. EM. He would never. She then went on to list some positive things about him, which seemed pretty bullcrap to me and my friends. He's a gentleman. Yet he harassed little girls. He's great at school. Yet he couldn't be bothered to pay attention for a single second, that and he was a FND student in high school, so. He's got more friends than any of you. Yet he had somehow become an outcast in our scout group. I honestly got bored at her rambling and went back to playing with my friends. Some of them kept shouting at her, others ignored her. One of my friends, a girl I had known since kindergarten, started straight up roasting this 30-year-old woman. I can't remember what she shouted, but I remember EM's reaction. EM. Shut up, you idiot, this is none of your business. Now this didn't stop my friend, in fact, it fueled her rage even more. Knowing what kind of woman her mother was, this didn't surprise me one bit. As time went on, one of the leaders noticed the commotion and came to check what's going on. EM noticed this and got out of there, fast. After the leader asked us what had happened and we told him, he went and told the main leader, and she was furious. She went and straight up banned EK, a ban which was lifted just 3 years ago in 2016, when EK wanted back into the scout group. My career as a scout had already came to an end in 2011, so it didn't bother me, until I started it again in the autumn of 2016, and had to cope with the idiot again. This guy is really scaring me. I hope he won't do any horrible things in future. The question is why his mom is so blind to her son she doesn't see who he actually is. Background. I'm a 35-year-old father of 2 boys. I have PTSD due to time overseas and have the physical scars to match the mental scars. I have an incredible wife that knows me and knows what situations I should avoid. My children are amazing, but this story revolves around my youngest son and my service dog. My youngest son has autism, and we share a special bond because some things that set him off also put my teeth on edge. Spike is my English bulldog, he's my service dog, he's well trained, lazy, judgmental and overall uninterested in anything he can't eat. He's also very in tune to Jay and my emotions, and will provide a distraction when we get overwhelmed. Basically he's like, oh, you're stressed. Here, scratch my butt, you'll feel better, and I'll get attention, it's a win-win. The story. My family recently moved to Texas. Because we now live very close to an amusement park, we got memberships. Shout out to the park for being amazing when it comes to special needs. This particular park in Arlington, Texas, has a special program for autistic people. They have rooms set aside to chill at if you're overstimulated, so you can relax, go back out, get overstimulated again, and round you go. With Jay, we also don't have to wait in lines. This is a huge thing and the cause of this story. The park has a pass that lets you skip most of the lines, and they charge an arm and a leg for this. However, with that pass you still end up in the line of the hundreds of people that also have that pass. Jay gets no lines at all, we get a special pass, and we go in through the exit. The worker signs the pass, and we go on the ride. Jay has a favorite ride, the log ride. There have been days that we would ride the log ride over and over, then eat. We also have the food pass which we pay for, then go back to the log ride. On this day my oldest and Jay wanted to go on the log ride. So we made our way to the exit and left wife and Spike in the shade because someone has to stay with him and bulldogs plus rides don't mix. As we were going in the exit, a woman started screaming at us. I have absolutely no hearing on my right side, thanks high pressure wave, so I didn't consider it worth turning my head to listen. Now because we ride this ride almost exclusively, the workers on this ride know us by name and sight. Jay even talks to them, which is rare. We go in, show the pass, sit and ride. This time though, Tabitha, I'll call her Tabitha because Karen is overused, the woman that was screaming at us as we were walking in through the out, made her way to where the speedy pass ends at the ride, where a red shirt will check her pass and let her go on her way. She didn't even want to ride, she just wanted to yell about us going in through the exit and how we are abusing the system. Now anyone that looks at Jay can see he's in a world all his own and wouldn't be surprised if he's literally reading the future or talking to aliens. He's awesome. The red shirt tries to calm her down. T is getting upset because he's a normal 9-year-old and adults yelling is uncool. J making his excited sounds and waiting for the log to stop so he can get in. We get in, and as we float away we still hear Tabitha screaming. The ride ends and we exit. We figured we would never see Tabitha again, but obviously as I'm point this, it didn't go that way. Tabitha appeared like a dark brother after making the sacrifice, Elder Scrolls reference, hooting and screaming. She is screaming that just because J is an R word doesn't mean we get extra rights. The screaming causes J to let out his super screech. Now anyone that knows autism knows that autistic kids have superpowers. In Jay's case it's a supersonic ear-shattering high-pitched screech that makes your eyes swim and makes it feel like things in your head are moving that shouldn't. This whole time Spike was laying on the ground in the froggy position as bulldogs do, just looking at Tabitha like she's a rabid dog, but not worth getting up for. As we are being screamed at I see 2 officers approaching from behind Tabitha. I smile, my smile must have broken Tabitha because the hauls off and kick Spike. This flips my switch because now my family is literally under attack and I start to react. Before I could make contact Tabitha is already in the air, being held carried half dragged away while being cuffed. Now in front of me is a well-dressed and pissed-looking officer. He tells us he heard the screech and started heading to it because they thought a ride broke or something bad happened. I take the time to unflip that switch and examine Spike. He's limping and crying. I feel his hips and feel that his hip is dislocated. I jokingly ask the officer to walk away and let me get some. He of course has no humor to this, but also can tell I had a career. He asked what happened and we all explained what happened from A to Z. He asks if Spike is a service dog. I say yes. He smiles, I'm not in a smiling mood, but it catches me off guard. He explains that in Texas to intentionally injure a service dog is a felony. By this time park security arrived and issued a trespass order to Tabitha. The officers ask if I want to press charges. I look at Spike and look back, yes. I say. Tabitha and her tiny mouse-like husband start to freak out as Tabitha is loaded onto a golf cart. We hop on the cart too and leave to go to the vet. The vet fixed Spike and all is well. We went back the next day with Spike in a stroller. No one batted an eye and everyone loves the bulldog in a stroller. I let people pet him. He's a hoot and the park is an amazing place. I've been contacted by the investigating officer and have given depositions. I may have to testify, but I look forward to sitting on the bench with Spike on my lap. Poor little doggo doesn't deserve angry people treating him like that. It's terrible what she had done and I'm happy Spike is fine. I work for a pet house sitting company and had a new client on my schedule for 3 visits a day for 2 weeks to take care of a dog. When I get to the house and go and I see a kid and thought they must be running late leaving and didn't let us know, so I said hi to the kid and said it's okay don't be scared, then called out for the parents. The kid said they're gone. I asked what do you mean? The kid then said I needed to hurry up and make her breakfast and take her to school. I asked again, what do you mean, where are your parents? She said they're gone on their trip and again told me to hurry up cause she's hungry. I asked how old she is, she said 7. I asked they left you here alone? She said yeah, her mom told her we'd be by in the morning to make her breakfast and take her to school, in the afternoon to pick her up from school and make her a snack, and at night to make her supper. I asked where's Macy, made up name, the dog. She said they don't have a dog. I said when the owner came for the client meeting and to get the house keys she met a dog. The kid said her mom borrowed the neighbor's dog. Oh my god. I called the company owner and told her what was going on, of course she was flabbergasted and came over immediately. She tried to get a hold of the kid's parents, but they weren't answering their phones, so she called CPS and explained everything when they got there. CPS took the kid, the parents' info, and left. The next day the kid's mom called the owner and left a rambling message, screaming about how could we turn her kid into CPS and we broke the contract, so they were going to sue her for that and also for the cost of their ruined vacation. The owner called them back and told them our agreement was to take care of a dog not a kid and that was illegal anyway, and also borrowing a dog for her to meet for the client meeting was deliberate misrepresentation, so good luck with a lawsuit. She hasn't heard from them since. I guess our pet sitting service was cheaper than hiring someone to watch the child properly. You know, I still can't understand how this woman thought this would actually work. This woman is crazy, did she really think she found a way to save some money? I recently traveled to a beach town to visit relatives. I'm there so often quite a few people think I'm a local. Both locals and tourists are pretty good at respecting personal space and won't sit right next to or in front or behind you. In my 20+ years of making multiple visits per year, I have never had a problem with tourists until my most recent visit. I get to the beach early, like at 8:30 a.m., and I set up my chair and umbrella. There are maybe 5 other families already set up for the day, so there's no one within a 100-foot radius of me. For the next hour and a half I'm blissfully enjoying an audiobook and a handful of other people show up. The entire beach is still empty. All of a sudden I feel a tap on my shoulder, thinking it was my relatives deciding to join me. Nope. It was an incredibly obese, bad-looking woman, in her late 30s, maybe early 40s, standing over me. Behind her was about 12 other people who appeared to have packed up their entire house and were lugging in through the sand. She's an EP. EP, excuse me but you're in our spot. Me, what spot? EP, this is our spot. My family is staying at the hotel right over there and we've been sitting in this spot for the last 4 days. You need to move. Me, no I don't. I was here first. EP, I said this is our spot. This whole stretch of beach is reserved for hotel guests only. Me, knowing that not a single hotel reserves spots or parts of the beach for guests. Okay, well go get someone from the hotel to move me. If you can find someone I'll gladly move. EP. Well there's no one working right now you're just going to have to believe me. Me. There are literally miles of open beach. Pick a spot and enjoy your vacation. EP, both yelling at me and her family. This lady has just ruined our vacation, we need to find a different spot. So she and the rest of the family plop their stuff down literally 10 feet to the left of me, despite the entire beach still being open. For the next hour I pretend to be asleep listening to my audiobook, but instead I'm listening to EP. Every word out of her mouth is how much of an idiot I am, how it was so inconvenient that she had to carry her stuff an extra 10 feet, etc. I was overjoyed when the lifeguard kicked her and the rest of the equally crappy adults in her group off the beach for refusing to put out their cigarettes. Well, I won't ever understand that people who don't want to move to a different spot out of principle. It's just so wrong. Guys, if you end up liking this video please consider subscribing, and if you missed the last episode on the channel I'm gonna link it right here. The story is about an entitled mother who hated OP and her boyfriend, but when OP got pregnant, her mom tried to trick her to see OP's baby. Check it out if you haven't, and I'll see you in my next video.